Over 55,000 babies are born in Ireland each year. For many mothers, pregnancy is a wonderful experience. But for 1 in every 10 pregnancies, however, mothers are affected by preeclampsia, a condition with serious and potentially life-threatening consequences for both mother and baby. For babies born prematurely as a result of the condition, there can be far-reaching issues in terms of development. Over 14 years ago, Aoife and Simon Owens from Dublin were delighted with the news of Aoife's first pregnancy. Aoife and Simon were mindful of possible complications, but at 9 weeks, their doctor informed Aoife that she had preeclampsia.
That's when preeclampsia first came up as a term that I'd never heard of before. But it was highlighted to me that it was high blood pressure in pregnancy and that it was something that really was more than likely going to affect me later on in the pregnancy. Preeclampsia, it's very scary. It is very scary. It's probably one of the few conditions that you can have high blood pressure in pregnancy. It doesn't just affect you, it affects the baby. My consultant was absolutely fantastic. She said from the word go, he is going to be early. This is a very touch and go pregnancy. It could go either way.
Changemaker Patricia Maguire has been investigating the area of preeclampsia from her lab at University College Dublin, looking particularly at the important role that blood platelets play in the condition.
So we all learned in school that platelets clot your blood, but they do so much more, okay? So when they're circulating around in our blood, they're constantly taking in information, and actually really vital, important information about the state of our health. So they're almost like little health sensors in our blood. And so what we found over a number of years of doing that, we collected enough samples to find out what were the differences in preeclampsia. So we used our knowledge of the platelet to understand what were the differences, what's the signature of preeclampsia, and we found that out.
Professor Maguire and her team at UCD worked closely with haematologists, consultants and patients from Ireland's maternity hospitals in order to gain more insight into the condition.
So what we do is we get the blood from the people and patients suspected with preeclampsia, and what we do is we analyse this blood to find the unique signature previously we have identified from platelets that tells us about preeclampsia, the specific preeclampsia signature that we can analyse and combine with other health and data about the patient to create a very detailed snapshot of the health status of preeclampsia patient.
Diseases like preeclampsia are so complex that a blood test alone may not give the answer every time. So you need to combine lots of information together with the blood test. And that's the basis of our AI PREMie test, is this signature that's different in preeclampsia. And what we're doing is we're combining that signature with all the other information that's collected from the hospital, from blood tests, from urine analysis, from what the clinician thinks and patient history. And we're combining all of this together with artificial intelligence, all in the cloud, and being able to then deliver all of that information back to the clinician.
Is that what your hand or my hand? That's your hand. Yeah, that's my hand.
With her early diagnosis, Aoife was preparing for an early delivery, knowing that every week in the womb counted for her baby. For consultants, sometimes the diagnosis of the condition isn't as straightforward.
What AI PREMie will do for them is, one, it will help them understand if that woman has preeclampsia. But the game-changing bit is, it will also help them understand how severe that preeclampsia will get.
At 29 weeks, 11 weeks before full term, Aoife was given unwelcome news.
My obstetrician came in shortly afterwards to say that that was it. They couldn't push me anymore and they couldn't push the baby anymore. We'd gone as far as we could, and that was at 29 weeks and 3 days.
Reese was born at 2 pounds 8 ounces. After spending 3 weeks in the high dependency unit, he was soon allowed home.
Reese now is 14, in second year in school, and he's a great kid. We're so proud of him. He's a real sensitive and kind and warm young man, and we couldn't ask for more. We're just steeped with him, steeped.
We're bringing the blood samples back to the lab from the hospital environment right now. But the dream is to be able to have AI PREMie as part of standard blood tests in hospitals for pregnant women. And what the dream is that we can get this into every maternity hospital around the world. And we want to have a machine that can use the AI PREMie test to analyse that mother's blood and then combine that with all the other information about the woman and about that baby so that it can literally pop up on the computer screen of the clinician in real time.
Patricia and her multidisciplinary team of researchers, consultants and patients are now collaborating to fight the condition of preeclampsia, not just in Ireland, but across the globe.
And using the data analysis, I suppose, to actually figure out the differences. Is that it? If I can help one baby stay inside in the womb for one more week, I can make a massive difference to their life.
We all dream about having, the perfect pregnancy and, perfect nursery and, all that kind of thing, but some people just aren't that lucky. So research in this area is huge, and it would be great if there was just a better way to spot it earlier.